Morning, collective. How are you guys doing through this energy shift? Last week we had this huge theme of dropping the masquerade, and I guess it's because the shift was happening. This morning, I did the collective message a little bit different, and I did it as a video. And we had the card, the Dragon Lane Garden from the Shapeshifter Oracle. And that message for this morning talked about this timeline shift where a new world is being birthed for you guys because you've dropped your masks. You're starting to live from your authenticity, and you guys are moving forward in your sovereignty. So I want to pull an energy oracle and give you guys a message for your week. Like a longer format message for your week. So I'm shuffling the cards, and as I'm shuffling the cards, I want you guys to put your intentions out there, what you need to know for the week. I'm doing this blind. I didn't pre-pull anything. So let's see what the energy oracle cards say. All right, I've got the card Journey, number 2. This card shows a woman standing at a crossroads with her bags packed, ready to embark on a new adventure. Very reminiscent of the Fool card. And she's holding a lantern, and she's looking at the road signs. She's not quite sure which path she's taking yet, but she knows that she's not standing where she was. This is a confirmation of this shift that I just talked about, where the collective has dropped its mask, and now you guys are no longer pretending to play small. You're not playing small, and you're not pretending. It's the universe. It's time to go, baby. This is a journey of soul alignment, not GPS coordinates. For the week ahead, I believe you're really supposed to be watching out for signs and synchronicities, because those are the things that are going to point you forward on your new direction. It's important to pay attention. And while I'm talking about paying attention to signs and synchronicities, I just want to real quick tell a story. Get my timer going real fast so that we can keep this under, let's keep it under 45 minutes. I'll set it for 25. All right. So on Thursday, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, Max, and the week before last, on June 6th, actually, he told me about an accident that he had on his way to his property, where he's building his cabin at. And he was driving down the road, and he watched a vulture, actually, fly toward his truck and collide with his side view driver's side mirror. And the bird, vultures are huge. The bird destroyed his side view mirror. And he sent me a picture of his reflection in the mirror. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Anyway, he sent me this picture of his reflection in the mirror, and it looked like his face was marked. I asked him what happened. I was thinking maybe like the vulture hitting his truck caused him to get into a collision, and he was sending me a picture of his face because he got hurt. But the reflective image was significant. He'd been marked by spirit. So,
good morning. It's Sunday, June 15th.
So anyway, what I took from this whole thing is that vultures eat dead things. They eat the rot, they eat the disease, they eat the toxins, they eat all the bad stuff. They're like the cleanup crew. And vultures are a bird. So birds offer us a different perspective, right? Because they fly high above the trees, and they have a different vantage point from which they can look. Because they're so high, they can see for miles and miles, and they teach us about changing our perspective. So I asked him, like, what were you thinking about? What were you listening to on the radio? Like, what happened that day? And he told me that, honestly, he doesn't remember thinking or listening to anything, that he was just driving. And he literally watched this bird from a distance fly toward his truck and then hit his truck. It was kind of a surreal moment. So at that point, Max became the message. That perspective shift literally collided with him. The mirror broke. And he's, you know, obviously that message for him was very personal, but it was a message for me too about shifting our perspective on things, and how when we change our perspective, we shatter the illusion of that mirror. We can only see the things that we perceive, and in the image of him in the mirror, I saw a mark on his face, but that mark wasn't really there. He became marked to share his message. And I'm sure he will share that message with people as he's going about through his life. So let's see what else Spirit wants us to know. So, like, here's what I gather from this, me sharing the story of the vulture, because it was all about signs and synchronicities, right? So this week you're being told by the universe, by spirit, by whatever, don't just look at your life. You need to observe it from above. You need to watch for the signs that feel surreal or odd or just too random, because nothing is a coincidence. Nothing's ever just a coincidence. We're living on a timeline that's a spiral. And we're not like moving forward in a straight line. We're actually moving forward, spiraling upward. And every situation where it feels like we may be circling back to the same lesson, actually we're circling back to be tested to see if we deserve to move up to the next level, or are we going to stay in this spiral of doom, or this circle of doom, or are we going to spiral upward, right? So for my friend, this was about the birds talking to him, obviously, and broken mirrors. So this week, you guys have broken open to a higher path. And now you're being asked to pack your bags. Where are you moving on from here? So I kind of want to see the collective that's watching this video. You guys have fallen into that mask shedding, and now you're on a journey. So I want to pull a wild unknown archetype. The hardest deck in my collection to shuffle and pull from. Just to kind of see where else Spirit wants us to go from here. Two cards. Three cards. Alright. So we've got the Mountain, the Eternal Child, and Anima Mundi. The Mountain is about our hardships and like what things we've had to master and overcome, realizing that the way to the other side of the mountain is not over it, under it, or around it. The shortest path is through it. The shortest path is usually the easiest path, and there's a light in the doorway, at the threshold of the doorway of this mountain. Anima Mundi, this is a powerful card because this shows about our connection to everything. And then the Eternal Child brings me back to the Morning Collective message with the Six of Cups as the foundational root energy. I see the inner child for this collective has been healing. And you guys have recognized that, you know, you've got to go through the mountain. You've got to break through the mountain. You've got to feel your emotions. You've got to see the damage that you have done, because Anima Mundi here has me feeling like you're recognizing that everything's connected. Everything's connected. And the way to healing is to break through these obstacles and feel them, experience them. Don't avoid them. Don't go around them. Don't, you know, try to undermine them. Don't, you know, yeah, so this is actually quite beautiful energy for the collective. So, let's see. The mountain is your initiation. It was your initiation. And last week was all about healing all of those pieces of yourself that were still holding you back. The Melchizedek is being birthed in the collective. So you walk through the threshold of the mountain, and that's your initiation. The Eternal Child becomes your guide. This is, you know, like allowing your inner child, the authentic you, to lead the way, to show you the signs and synchronicities. The Anima Mundi card is the field you're returning to, so you're recognizing that you can allow this part of yourself to guide your life. So you're not looping in circles anymore. You're starting to spiral up and out with open consciousness and compassion. Not to mention the courage. The courage is insane. It takes so much courage to be able to feel your emotions, to recognize the mistakes that you made because of traumas and masks that you were wearing. Let's see. I feel like I want to pull an Akashic Truth card to go forward with this. Hold on, let me pull it. So I've already actually been through this part of the journey, and I can only speak to you guys about the stuff that I've personally gone through. As an energy reader and somebody who operates in the Akashic field, this moment of breakthrough for me, this moment of journey where Spirit asked me to start looking at the signs and synchronicities and really understand that the things that were happening to me were actually happening for me. That moment of breakthrough happened for me on one night in October when I realized that my partner of 17 years and I were getting ready to leave each other forever, and he had already started sleeping with somebody. And while I was talking to people, I hadn't slept with anybody yet, but that situation, and then my son, who was in Oklahoma, was on his way home, and that whole thing, like, just in a matter of one day, and it culminated at a access point of me being in the bathtub having a complete total freaking meltdown because my whole world was getting ready to crash on my head, on my kid's head, and I had to think about, you know, my son coming home from Oklahoma from his dad's house. He was going to look at what I was doing, and he's a Sagittarius, man, and he is definitely a truth teller in a way where he doesn't ever see things in shades of gray. He only sees things in shades of black and white. So no shades, just black and white. And in a matter of 30 seconds, my whole life flashed before my eyes, and my eyes were opened to the fact that I had done so much wrong in our relationship that could have been avoided. I no longer saw my partner as being, I no longer saw my relationship as being the narcissist empath dynamic. I started to see two broken people who chose to continue to break each other. And after that flashback, I made the conscious decision to do better for myself, do better for my family, do better for everywhere. And the card that we have from the Akashic Truth is abundance. It says you're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it, and to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step toward receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. This abundance is not a reward for perfection. It's most definitely a response to alignment. When you stop lying to yourself, when you stop blaming everybody else, when you choose truth even when it hurts, the field, the quantum field responds. So that's the Anima Mundi card. It's Akashic flow. When I say Akashic flow, I mean that's the Akashic records, the halls of Amenti. That's flowing through you guys. That's the information field. This is the energy of someone who's unclenched their fists and opened their hands to receive. Spirit says this isn't your turnaround, it's your return to truth. The return is your abundance. So if you watch this and you're standing in the wreckage of your old life, your breakdown is your access point. Your abundance begins when your denial ends. What are you denying? Where are you standing in your life, that you're thinking that you're perfect and everybody else is wrong. And where have you accepted that you've been denying it? So, this week, abundance is probably going to come in strange packages. Abundance may be visions or epiphanies or revelations, maybe reconciliations with people that you used to butt heads with. It could even just be an abundance of emotional clarity, honestly. But it could also be sudden releases of guilt and shame. You could have your bathtub moment this week. And if you do, I'm so proud of you for getting to that point. It's going to hurt at first, and there's going to be a lot of tears, but the illusions are dropping. Even where you think that you've been perfect is an illusion. We're all human. You know, I can stand here all day long and tell you that I'm living from my higher self, but the fact of the matter is I still am human and I still have hang-ups. I just know better now. So I can very quickly become the observer, as Eckhart Tolle talks about. I can very quickly observe my behavior and change my direction, change my perception. So don't block these emotions this week. Let them move through the threshold of the mountain and just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. And one more card, please. Last card. Yeah, listen. You're being asked to listen to your inner voice. It's been guiding you to do something or say something, and it's time to act on its wisdom. Listen. Listen to your inner child. Let your inner child guide you toward those signs and synchronicities that are going to push you forward on your path this week. Begin to recognize that the number synchronicities, the animal synchronicities, these are all messages that you're sending to yourself, because I am you, you are me, and we are the all. And with that, I'm going to let this message go into the ethers. I love you guys. I want you to have the most fantastic week that you can possibly have. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.